Alright, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, the Smokey and the Bandit truck has come a long way from where I started with it. But I guess everyone's got their collections and things they like to work on, and I sure like working on these old trucks. And from the outside looking in, you could call it pretty much finished, but there's a few small cosmetic items that still need to be finished up to make it perfect, and a handful of mechanical and even electrical. So there's still some work that needs doing on the truck. But a lot of people were commenting in the previous episodes. They were saying, you know, truck looks great, Mark, congratulations, must be awesome to be done, but these projects are actually never done. And some of the people were also commenting, well, now that you got the truck, are you going to build the trailer too? Well, of course I'm going to build the trailer too. It would be a Smokey and the Bandit tribute truck without having the trailer. Alright, so this is the trailer I picked up earlier this year, and it's going to make an awesome Smokey and the Bandit replica trailer. It's not a Hobbs trailer. It's going to be pretty hard to find an official Hobbs trailer, but it's in good shape. It's got the ribs all the way down. It doesn't have the curbside door in it, which matches the movie, and it's a nice canvas to put on the stagecoach wrap when we finally get to that in the spring.
You egotistical son of a bitch.
Any guy that would paint his truck like this would go to a minister's funeral dressed in feathers.
But there's two things that have been bugging me about this trailer that are not movie correct. So the first is the tandems at the back. Now they do have the movie correct Dayton wheels, but the thing I don't like about this trailer is it's got what's called the Canadian spread. A lot of trailers back in the day in Canada had the axles spread farther apart to more equally levelize the load, and though it was functional, it looks like hell and it doesn't match the movie truck. So that's one thing that I really need to get fixed. And so I've been on the hunt for a new set of tandems, because this is just a rolling kind of like almost like a dolly that you see on the front of a trailer, but it's basically one common system that just sits. It's like a little car that sits underneath the trailer in these rails. Now in the old days, the guys could pull the pins out, and let's say they had a heavier load somewhere in the trailer, they could slide these forward or back and then lock it back in, and then they'd be legal and off they'd go down the road. So I've been hunting for the correct set of tandems, this little setup here that I could just stick under the rails, and I may have found what I needed. But the other thing that was wrong with this trailer was the fact that this is what's called a dry van trailer. So it's dry inside. There's no refrigeration unit to keep the food cold or produce or whatever. And the movie truck was actually a dry van as well, but they converted it and they made it look like a reefer trailer or a refrigeration trailer. And the way you can tell is the reefer trailers have a heating and refrigeration unit on the front of the trailer. Now the most common brand is Thermo King, and the reason I say it was a dry van used in the movie is because they had the reefer shell. There was two trailers used in the movie. They had the reefer unit on both of them, but it didn't have the fuel tank. So there was a small little tank on refrigeration. You can see them even today. And what you'd do is you'd fill that with diesel, and then that's what the motor would run off of. And the refrigeration unit actually has a little diesel engine in it and compressor to run it. And so you'll hear that at the truck stops. It'll be humming away. They're of course a lot quieter now, but that's one thing that was missing. So I've been on the hunt for a ThermoKing reefer shell from the 70s, and they're not that easy to find because a lot of these trailers are either used as billboards in farmers' fields, or they've just been squashed for the metal. It's a lot of aluminum here. Of course, aluminum is worth a lot of money. So I've been hunting around for a reefer unit, and there was an awesome fan out there that reached out to me, and he goes, His name was Cass. You're awesome, Cass. Thanks so much. And he reached out and he said, you know what, Mark? I've got just what you need. So check this out. Official Thermo King. What a beauty. Look at this, an authentic 1970s Thermo King. Now, Cass was telling me that what he used this for, he actually removed this from a trailer years ago and had it on the ground, and he was running it to refrigerate his beef. He's on a farm, and they kept their beef cold with it, and it recently died. And he thought, you know what? It can't go to a scrapyard. It belongs on the front of the Snowman trailer. So he reached out to me and said, Mark, are you interested? And I said, of course I'm interested. So we've got the doors here. Now they're going to require a little bit of work. They had a bit of a dent in there, but that's nothing that can't be fixed. So he gave me all the hardware for that. And then check this out. This is the real major piece of this. Get you a closer look at that. Now the one in the movie wasn't chrome, but this is just too nice of a piece. I think it'll look awesome up there on the trailer. Look at that Thermo King. It's not even dented. So what he did for me was he started hollowing it out, and this, I don't know, I was thinking this was just going to be a light little shell, but this is actually very beefy, and I'm surprised they built it so stout for trying to save weight. Hush puppies, Daddy.
We got no time for that crap!
But look at that, it's like 1/4 inch aluminum. It's a heavy, heavy piece. So he pulled out the diesel engine out of it, but he left the gauges, and there's another little gauge panel that goes there. Look at that. So hot, defrost, heat, and look at this, even the instructions are still here. Thermo King compressor, Thermo King diesel engine. Unit may start automatically. Isn't that cool? Emergency line. That is awesome. Manufacturer's warranty. So this is an authentic piece. Does it have a year of manufacture? That's a serial number. Model number, no, don't have the year on it. But isn't that cool? So this is gonna be perfect for the front of the trailer. So like I say, he took the diesel engine out. He left the radiator in though, because he said it just wouldn't look right without the radiator behind this shell. So we'll leave that chrome. And look at the years on this thing. Just sitting outside. And he left the little flapper from the diesel engine just because it's gonna look so cool. So I'm really excited about this. Now I'm gonna have to cut this edge off here. There you can see the little drive shaft for the fan that would spin. You see it was belt driven in there. But yeah, this is perfect. So can't thank you enough, Cass. You are a king among men for offering this up to old Twin Sticks. So yeah, this will, like I say, require some body work. We'll paint it up the same Hyundai brown or Hyundai brown, however you say Hyundai. And same paint that I used on the truck. So I'll sand this down, paint that up, and then I'm gonna have to figure out a way to hold it up. Wonder, can I back the trailer in? I'd like to use that, but I don't know if I can get that outside. But that'll be a project for another day. But I'm so excited about this. So now that's one piece out of the way that I need to address, and the other one will be the tandems. And here's that little gauge panel. Start, manual, override, safety switch. You don't need a safety switch. And that goes in there just like that. And a little bracket for the door. Yeah, perfect unit. So yeah, it would have been neat to see the little Thermo King diesel APU unit in there, but it was seized, so it wasn't worth anything anyway. But just sitting here thinking about it, I wonder if I hooked on to the trailer, and in the spring, obviously when it's warmer, and then drive the truck in to the garage. Because I'm thinking, yeah, that should work. If I drive the truck all the way in to the front there, then the front of the trailer will come rolling in. Hopefully it fits underneath the 14-foot door. Front of the trailer will probably be about there. And then I can use the gantry crane to lift it up and then roll it in and then hold it in place while I drill the holes and bolt it on. So that's probably what I'll do is, like I say, hook on and drive the truck forward. But, oh, that's so awesome. Thanks again, Cass. All right, time to go on another adventure. So it just so happens that the same guy that sold me the cab over, he was saw him at the truck show, and I said, Steven, I'm looking for some tandems, keep your eye out. And it just so happens that he found a set at his neighbor's place with Dayton wheels on it and the exact dimension that's going to fit under this trailer. So he said, Mark, I'll hold on to them, I'll buy them for you, I'll hold on to them, and you come down here and get them when you can. So that's what I'm going to plan to do today, is to actually hook on my trailer here. Now, obviously, the tandems are 8 feet wide, so the width of that tandem assembly is going to be the width of the pickup truck, so it'll be 8 feet wide. And of course, I've got a smaller car hauler trailer. Man, it's windy today. It's still pretty cold. So it wouldn't actually work because the tires would end up sitting on the fender here. Ideally, I'd have a flat deck trailer that's above the wheels, but like I always say, at Twin Stick Garage, I like using the wrong tool for the right job. And I'm going to try and make this trailer work. So Steven actually had the idea to take the tandems and the tandem assembly, and we'll flip it upside down like a turtle. And I'm going to set it on these railway ties here, so it should clear the fender, because the steel comes up about 6 inches from the top of the tires there. So I figure upside down, sitting on these railway ties, the tires should clear and be able to chain it down and get it home. So I'll clear off the snow here. I actually had it cleared off, and then lo and behold, as I was standing here, a big load of snow comes flying off the roof and adds insult to injury. So I'll keep working on that, and then we'll head over to Stevenson and pick up those tandems. Hopefully they're not too heavy for this trailer. So here we are at Steven's yard, and here's the beauty. Look at that, it's even got white wheels. 22.5 rubber. Yeah, this thing looks pretty heavy. It's going to be perfect for the movie truck trailer. Steven's got a nice collection of old trucks here. Some old Kennys. How's this Kenworth? Now, the real test is going to be how much that tandem assembly is going to sack out this little trailer. We'll find out. It might not be enough, but that can't weigh much more than a pickup truck, could it? Those axles identify as 7,000 pound axles. That's actually not too bad at all. All the weight's off it. Oh yeah, she'll take it. All right, been driving for about a half hour now, just trying to stop and check everything. Oh yeah, the hubs are good. Still air in the tires. Yeah. It'll be fine. Okay, so welcome back. It's actually the next day because I got in a little late coming back from Stevens, but I knew it would get home okay. A little heavy, but nothing broke, so we're all good. So now that it's home, I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing off the trailer without a front end loader or a forklift. So I'm gonna do a little bit of a hillbilly deal here. And what I came up with is I'm gonna unchain it from the trailer and then I'm gonna hook onto it with my Ford and I'm gonna pull it back. And what I'm hoping to do is it'll come off the trailer and drop down. And then it'll be sitting on the wheel here. Then what I'll do is I'll chain it to the trailer and then chain the truck to this end of the dolly, and hopefully it just makes a flip and lands back on its tires. So we'll see how this goes. And it's funny, as I was driving home, I was looking in the mirror going, you know what, if I burn a bearing or break an axle, I was contemplating getting a local farmer to take the whole mess and flip it upside down. And this would become the trailer, and this would become the payload, and then just kind of chain it on. So luckily I didn't have to do that and it made it home okay. So with that, I guess I'll start unhooking it, and we'll see how easy this thing comes off the trailer. All right, let's see how this works. Now this is either going to be spectacular or embarrassing. Swing and a miss, twin six. Well, I'll get the trailer out of here. Okay, well, it's on the ground, so that's something. I might have to go ask the neighbor to bring his front end loader over and flip it properly. Just that it's not grabbing it from a high enough spot. See, if I had a loader or something, it would have picked it up and flipped it. But since I was pulling from so low down, it just wanted to jam it into the ground. So it's a decent idea, just terrible execution.
What an idiot!
Oh, that's awesome. My neighbor was actually working on bales, so he agreed to come over and just give this thing a quick flip. Oh, that was sure nice of him to come over and help with that. All right, so now she's back on her tires and taking a closer look at it. I mean, the brake plots, look, the stickers are still on there. The lines aren't all rotten and cracked like what I'm used to. Like, this thing's actually in decent shape. I'm willing to bet if a guy sandblasted it, primed and painted it, you could throw it under the trailer and run it down the highway. But I'll still give it a once over and check everything over, but I don't think I'm going to replace all the gear because, like I said, it looks in good shape. So it's a leaf spring suspension, but I'm not too worried about how it rides, because I mean, it's not like I'm going to be hauling anything fancy, save for maybe a Trans Am and 400 cases. And then of course it's got the Daytons, and actually if you look close to the beginning of the movie there, when the Burdettes walked by, the rings were actually kind of faded white.
You testicle son of a bitch.
It's almost like a gray, but I'll probably still clean them up and paint them. Tires are in good shape. As I was saying, it's 11R 22.5s, so it's a more modern size instead of that tube type 1020 or 1022. So that's good. I don't need to get new tires for it. It's the exact dimension across, 42 inches across, so it should fit right under those rails. And you can see it had the same style with those rods that come out, but the holes are a little different on center. So I'm willing to bet when I finally throw this under the trailer that this one will obviously line up the back one, but maybe the front one won't. So as I was mentioning earlier in the episode, what we'll probably do is once it's in place and we make sure it's straight so the trailer's not going to be dog walking down the highway, is just lay a good weld bead in there. I'll get one of my friends that actually knows how to weld to do that. But yeah, I'm excited. Maverick Oilfield Service. Yeah, they are a darn good company. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for. No more of that silly Canadian spread. And if you look, this thing, you know, it looked really heavy. I originally thought it was going to be the same size channel that you'd see on truck frames. But if you think about it, they're trying to make the trailer as light as possible to haul the most payload that they can. So if you look, it's actually pretty thin metal. Now, obviously it's still steel and it's still heavy, but I mean, it's got a hollow sound to it. You wouldn't want to pull too hard on it. And look at that, just by leaning on it, I can almost move this thing by hand now. It's amazing how much easier it moves around on tires instead of upside down on a turtle shell. So, okay, so my plan now is I obviously can't leave it here. Mrs. As nice as I think this looks and is going to look under the trailer, I'm pretty sure she's going to call it an eyesore. So my plan is I'm going to chain onto it and I'll drag it in front of the shop, and then I'm going to try and weld a homemade tow bar onto it, and then I can just set it on the ball of my truck there, and then simply back it around like a little trailer and park it back beside the trailer and leave it there for spring. So let's give that a go. And for those saying, man, I miss watching them work outside in the snow, this episode's for you. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Basically just rig up a tow bar to move this thing around. Something like that. I gotta back up a bit. But that's what I'm thinking. Just weld that up and hopefully my welds hold. In typical Twin Sticks fashion, I get a little ahead of myself. This is no exception in this case. So it's welded up here. I mean, at least half-ass welded, but it should hold good enough to back it around the shop. So I'm happy with that. But at the front here, I probably shouldn't have welded it in. I should have bolted it so it's got a little bit of play to get it off of the ball there. But yeah, oh well. I think it'll still work. I mean, worst case, I'll just have to jack this up to get it off the ball, or I guess I could pull the pin and just drive away and the receiver hitch would fall out of there too. So, okay, I'll finish welding it up and try and back it around the shop and then worry about it. Now let's see what kind of trailer we made here. I think it'll pull it just fine, but where it's really going to test the welds is when I try and make a turn and it's got to skid the tires. That's probably where it'll break. This is pretty slick, I have to say. Oh, you turned. Okay, might have to do a little dancing to get it around that corner. Oh, it's a bit of a mess back here because of all the snow that comes off occasionally when we get this freeze thaw stuff. So that's about as far back as I could get it. But at least it's in a safe place, and I think that deserves a celebration. Yeah, the hitch actually worked. Wasn't too bad. I just had to kind of bounce on the back bumper, and it was enough to pop it out of there. So that worked good. And now I can move it around in the spring, so I can hook on when all this snow and ice and crap is gone, and drag it around and push it into the shop, and then I can start working on painting it up and redoing all the bearings and checking the seals and all that fun stuff. But yeah, that is gonna look so much better under there. All right, so I got the reefer shell and I got the tandems. All I need now is the Hobbs anti-sail mud flaps.
Far out.